Coming to corporates, most of the companies are using AI, like say, especially the Gen AI, drafting their emails, drafting their quotations, drafting any policies. Everywhere, the AI being used, at least used, for correcting the grammatical things or improving the professional tone for the content. So this has been used extensively. So, but the current era is agentic era, where things are moving to automation and things are moving very fast. So, how to shift from that passive usage to active usage, or from AI, who is currently a talker, he's helping, and to a doer, he goes and does the task himself. How you should plan to do that shift from talker to the doer is what we want to discuss in this video. Before discussing the video, in my earlier videos, I have covered, you have to understand in the business value chain, you have to understand the friction, where the friction is very high, and then where you have a lot of data points also, where it has to be solved to enhance your business efficiency or performance. So first, we have to identify the friction. So you can refer to those videos, and then once that is done, then we can go and see how to do it methodically, how to shift from the current AI system to the agentic system. So let's go to the presentation. So what we are trying to do is we are talking about talkers to doers. Basically, what we are shifting is we are shifting from generative AI as a creative intern to a digital worker who actually goes and work. This is what we are shifting. So, but before shifting, let's try to understand how actually the Gen AI works. So basically, we are talking about how to upgrade or improvise from Gen AI to agentic AI in the businesses or in the corporates. So it contains 4 processes, basically the translator, the context connector, the frozen knowledge base, the next step prediction. So basically it's a cyclic process. So whatever the information what we send, it converts into numbers, that is NLP, natural language processing, which is the main part for any LLM. Once it converts it converts into chunks, and they are sent for trying to understand, to get the information from the knowledge database, how to rewrite this, what are the chunks what are the context which is being given. Those are sent to the huge knowledge base of billions of context, billions and trillions of the context information has been saved. That is heart of any LLM. So when we see, like, once it is sending, it is also focusing on the related parts. What are the next part which has to be predicted. So it goes to the next step prediction. So it gives cue on what is the next step prediction to be given from both from it gets the information from the frozen knowledge database. Basically it gets highest probabilistic match which can be used to use for this generating the content, and also it gets a cue saying what is the next step prediction to be done. So it's a cyclic process. It does all till it generates the complete content. It stores in a temporary memory, and finally output is generated back into the human readable language using the NLP. Basically what it means is, like, it is exactly dependent based on the frozen knowledge base what you're given, and also what are the controls you have put. Like, say, if the information asked is about any critical information, like the security password or something, those will be cut, or those will be stopped before generating the output, because there are some checks, or there are some barriers which are already put. So this is how exactly the GenAI model architecture works in creating the content. So let's go to the next slide, which is generative AI, the creative intern. How exactly creative intern works is it creates the content by token by token. It's like it creates one token or the context or the content, and it predicts the next one and create the other one. So it cyclically it creates the content, and it finally gives the output. So this is best used for marketing copy, ideation, draft documents, the blogs, or the email drafts. The caution in the slide is basically stating that we can't keep any contradictory data. We should not have data which has multiple values for the same year sales or something like that. So it hallucinates and gives a wrong information in the output. Basically, the real world Gen AI use cases for SMEs currently is widely used in marketing, sales, and support. In marketing, it is used in generate many ads, headlines, variants, draft social media posts, campaigns, briefs. In sales, draft cold outreach sequence, follow-ups, create tailored proposal drafts and one pager. In support, summarizing meetings, giving action points to the owners and all the teammates. And it also creates some knowledge base from the articles. So this is what is currently being used. So let's go to the next slide. So let's talk about the upgrade from intern to a digital worker. Digital worker is one who goes and does the things. Now, this digital worker has four stages. One is, goal, action, verification, and permission. So basically, what is goal is, like, say, for example, you have to do a refund. Doing a refund is a goal. You can do a refund based on certain criteria, like say whether person is actually purchased it from the website only and his money is actually received and he has a valid reason why he is asking for a refund. All that it is checks and it is ready to give a refund. That is a goal after checking. So the second thing is action. The refund parameters are all met. Everything is fine. If this person is eligible for refund, then the action is go and give a refund. Go and give a refund and also send a note to him and to the manager, to everyone saying that the action is taken. The third part is observations. Once the refund is done, then verification. It go and verify whether the refund is done and whether the customer is happy or customer has any info, anything to say about it. Like say he has no something wrong or he's not happy with that. Observe what is the information. Whatever is coming, that is the third part. The fourth part is scope and permissions, where this AI, agentic AI, has to work within that some control. It can't go and refund any person who is more which is more than 5,000 rupees or anywhere there is some ambiguity, whether refund has to be done or not. So there are some controls have been put. So agentic AI, it is part of these four stages how agentic AI works. So if we talk about agentic AI, digital worker in a little more diagrammatic way, this is a very good diagram on how exactly it works. It's a continuous work of perceive, think, and act. Perceive, think, act. Perceive, think, act. It's continuously doing that, like any human brain, which tries to understand whatever you say, whatever we ask to any other human, it tries to understand, it thinks, and it acts. So this is exactly what it's trying to do. So only thing is it is connected through APIs, the API which has been given to all the systems, like say your CRM system is connected, ERP system is connected, your databases are, and certain tools, like say your mobile or calendar or so what output has to be on, whether the schedule has to be done or an email has to be sent. So it does its next task accurately due to this progressive feedback that it gets and keeps updating the context based on that. So let's go to the next slide. While agentic AI does the digital worker job 24 by 7, if the information is wrong, if the policy is wrong, if the inputs are wrong, then it can create mess to the whole company, which has actually happened in the implementation in last 2 years, and there was a lot of gaps and a lot of losses happened in companies who are trying to adopt AI. So let's understand what are those things to be taken care. One is the challenge hallucination risk. So, yeah, agents can go and invent the facts if the information given is not a proper data source. Like say, if the information given is wrong, it actually go and invents the facts based on all the other data which is available in this context. So authoritative data given has to be very critical and it has to be non-contradictory data. That's very critical. So one of the solution is where Instacart live check is where Instacart is connected to 1 lakh stores and 1.8 billion products. It goes and checks all of them without any guessing and give you the right inventory details or availability of the product details for the recipes whatever it is prescribed. The right way for agentic worker to work is it has to query authoritative sources in real time inventory calendar payment gateways. Best practice is verification. Add automated verification steps and secondary checks before final actions. This is the most important slide, basically talking about agentic use cases for SMEs where action is taken versus the Gen AI. We can pin up one of the domain, like say either customer service or scheduling or sales operations, for example, and try to move from the Gen AI automating it. In this, I will just take one example, which is like say for example customer service. The action to be done is open a refund, update order status, escalate to agent. That is the action you have to like. That is the action we have to plan. What Gen AI is giving, it's basically giving all the information, or what are the emails to be done, what are the communication to be done while doing the refund. All this it is generating and giving. The trigger is given by either a ticket, which is the ticket is raised by customer service on CRM, or by a message or a WhatsApp. Check the rule and act on the confirmed transactions. So the tip is start small. Always start small. Observe it carefully, log every action, and start implementing for the other tasks. Let's go to the last slide. It's repeating the same thing. Basically, trying to say is that defining the scope of your requirement is more critical, or defining the friction what you're having in your business, which can be solved by AI. That is more important. Where action can be taken is more important than trying to use AI the way trying to use the AI like as it is available. Like say you have a lot of email auto responders, you have schedulers. Just directly trying to use that may not help. So try to understand what is your business, where is the exact friction where you can adopt AI to help you in the business performance and efficiency. So basically, we have to define the scope has to be proper, the success matrix has to be set properly. Always start with a short pilot with human oversight, rollback controls, and the iteration plan. I hope this video helps the businesses who are currently using Gen AI and who are thinking about how to automate things. What are the steps they should take to automate things. I hope it helps those kind of businesses who are in that phase to do the automations in their businesses effectively. Thank you.